So Gone Freaks during the Greed Island arc. Gone Freaks during Greed Island. He goes into the game. Tesquero is like, you wanted to, join this game and, um, try to beat it, your dad created the game, and he knows that his dad created the game, and he's trying to like figure it out. He could learn something about his father from like doing this shit, right? So he, went into the game and he started collecting cards because the whole premise of it was like collect these cards, take them from other people, and whoever can like fill the booklet up with every single card that you can possibly get, they win the game. And they were doing that together, Gon and Killua. Gon ended up training with Bisky. She taught Wing, the guy who taught them, the prerequisites for Nen, the 4 prerequisites for Nen. And then she took it a step further and she started teaching him, you'll either be a emitter or, this or that. Gon ended up finding he was an enhancer. So then, they fought against the Bomber. The Bomber had some of the cards they needed. That being Genthru. Genthru was, a tough opponent. However, Gone Freaks was able to power through and use, what we call in the dub, you know, show me rock. Show me rock. You hear him say it in the dub, he says, show me rock. Boom. And he knocks him out. He's probably dead. That's what it looked like to me. Because he was like, don't, no. And then Gon was like, nope. And he's like, show me rock. Boom. This man's done. So after that happened, we have, them going up against Razor. So Razor happens, right? And Razor is basically an ex, convict or whatever. And now he's in the game running it. He makes sure the games run smoothly. People come into the game right. They have to come in through, the correct means or they have to leave. That's why he kicked out the Phantom Troop. But he ended up playing, Gone Freaks, Hisoka, and Killua in a dodgeball match. They ended up showing, Razor that they could, hold down against him. But it took all 3 of them, not just, Gone Freaks. Gone Freaks was able to send it back with about, similar amount of force as when Razor throws a dodgeball. When he uses his Jajaken, right? Or what we call in the dub, show me rock. But anyways, after all that happened, Gon won the game and, they went on to do other shit. But his strength during this time is 90%. His speed is at 88%. Durability is at 87%. His endurance is at 87%. And his intelligence is at 86%. We got his experience at 88%. 91 for his close skills, and his range skills are at 85%. Recoup at 86%, and hacks at 88%. Overall power score for Gone Freaks during Greed Island is at 87.7%. Be Cool Call on the corner, and I think I'll talk about the Chimera Ant arc, characters next week. But Be Cool Call on the corner. And let me know what you think about that scorecard in the comments.